Okay. So, our policy cross-examination debate, basic information that you need to know is that it's a one-on-one debate. There's an affirmative and a negative. We've chosen our partner and topic the last time we met, and you've decided whether you were affirmative or negative. So we're all set with that. Remember that your resolution statement is exactly the same. The only thing for each group that changes in the resolution statement is whether you affirm the resolution statement or whether you say in your constructive, I negate the resolution statement. But after those two words, your opponent and your resolution statement are exactly the same. Good? All right, so let's talk about a little bit more about the debate. So each person on your team, whoa, hey, slow down, baby. Each person on your team will be taking part in preparing and presenting your constructive speech. So you will be splitting it halfway down the middle. And you decide for yourselves who's going to do what components of that speech, which we'll take a look at coming up. So both of you will be presenting the constructive. One of you will be asking questions. The other one will be answering the questions. So you want to decide for yourself who's going to be asking, who's going to be answering. And then one of you is going to be presenting the rebuttal speech. Again, decide who's going to do that. So what you might want to do in the constructive is in a group of two, you might want to get, which is everybody except for Nolan's group, I believe, you might want to give the person who's presenting the rebuttal a little bit less to do on the constructive speech, and then allow them to do the rebuttal, okay? If it's Nolan's group, where there's a group of three, in that group of three, you want to make sure that each of you has like half of the constructive, and then the other person does the rebuttal, okay? All right. So this is what the debate looks like as far as the time. We're going to be trying to do 2 debates in 1 class period. And hopefully Zoom allows us to do that. We don't get into that trouble like we had with the last debates. But we'll have 24 minutes. Each one debate is 24 minutes. So your constructives this time around are only 3 minutes long. They're short constructives. So if you think back to your current event speech, your current event speech was around 3 minutes long. So that gives you an idea of how long this constructive should be. The cross-examination rounds will be 3 minutes each side, so 6 minutes total. The rebuttal is also 3 minutes, and then you have 3 minutes of prep time. So this is a 3-3-3-3. Everything is 3 minutes. It's an easy way to remember. This is the way that it's formatted. So this will be very familiar to you because it's a lot like our fast food debates. So our affirmative constructive speech goes first for 3 minutes. Then the negative side is going to be cross-examining the affirmative side, and someone on the affirmative side is going to be answering. Then there's the negative constructive speech for 3 minutes. And then the affirmative is going to be cross-examining the negative, and then affirmative rebuttal, negative rebuttal. So it's affirmative, negative, negative, affirmative, affirmative, negative. In a court of law, the negative side, the side that does not have to prove the innocence of anyone, always goes last. And that's why in debate, the negative side, the side that doesn't have to prove that this law is a good idea to be changed, always goes last. And then you have 3 minutes of prep time. So it's a really easy time to remember because everything is basically 3 minutes. You're going to get 3 minutes of prep time again, and you can choose to break it up however you want to. Some suggestions would be before you do the cross-examination, ask the questions, or after the cross-examination round to regroup or review what happened in the cross-examination round. And then I always suggest that you use prep time before the rebuttal to make sure that the rebuttal person is ready to go. Okay, we did our topic sign up already. You will be doing some research for this paper, because this paper is going to involve a little more complicated like format to it, which I'll talk about with values. We're going to be covering next. I'm going to be giving you an outline for your cross-examination constructive. And this time I want to see that you've actually practiced delivering that and you're not reading it directly off the screen. Last time the delivery for the fast food debates was a little too reedy. I want to see it more like you actually know what you're talking about. I'm not printing anything out because you're going right off the screen and you don't have to worry about the drafts. Okay. These are the 4 things in cross-examination debate that you should have learned from Chapter 9. Your cross-examination questions, which I'm really focusing on, this is the bulk of your grade for this debate, is that you are asking questions that ask the other team to clarify points. So these could be questions which could ask them to repeat something, repeating a contention or something along those lines. You need to ask questions that could potentially expose errors on the opposing side in their constructive. You want to ask questions that get them to obtain admissions, like something that they didn't research or something that they haven't looked into. When they admit that they haven't done anything, that's obtaining admissions. And you want to ask questions that will set up your own arguments. So you will need to make sure that you're asking each type of these questions in the cross-examination round. So you want to make sure that whoever you assign to ask questions in your group, because you'll be sharing that grade, is a person who's most comfortable with the cross-examination questions and the different types of questions there. So that's something you're going to want to talk to with your partner about. We'll get back to the rebuttal a little bit later. That's the gist of the cross-examination debate. One of the things that goes along with cross-examination debate, though, is something called values and definitions. And that's what we're going to go into next. Hang on, I'm going to stop my screen recording.